In Zarkov Exclusion Zone, every shadow can kill you. Every step is a calculation. Every extraction is a temporary victory. You went in alone, you came out alone. If you came out at all, that loneliness was the point. But the zone is changing. Zerosievert began as a solo project, one developer, one vision, and a bedroom studio called Cabo. Luca Carbonara, also my favourite pasta dish, built a top-down extraction shooter that stripped away the toxic PvP edges of the genre and kept the purest parts. Tension, risk, loot, and the brutal honesty of one more run, which is something that keeps us all going long into the night. No massive studio, no huge marketing budget, just a punishing atmospheric loop set in the ruined country of Zarkov. Players responded, over 600,000 copies sold, a loyal community that kept coming back to the zone long after the credits should have rolled. The game proved something important. Extraction didn't need to be sweaty PvP meat grinder. It could be lonely, methodical, and deeply personal. And then the community asked for one more thing the original couldn't easily deliver: friends.
What was that?
Oh shit.
So, you want to be a hunter, huh? Well, let me tell you how to survive the zone. Gather your friends, choose your gear, pick your destination, and catch the train. It's a dangerous world out there, so fight smart and keep a cool head.
In late April 2026, the answer arrived. Zerosievert 2, developed by Underdog, a new London studio funded by former Splash Damage veterans in collaboration with Luca and Cabo Studios, and published by Modern Wolf. If you don't know who the Splash Damage veterans are, they worked on games like the old school Return to Castle Wolfenstein and Doom 3, which are some of my favourite games from back in the day. This isn't a simple remaster, it was a deliberate evolution. The core loop stayed sacred: enter the zone, scavenge, survive anomalies, bandits and mutants, extract with what you can carry. But almost everything around that loop grew. A new 2.5D presentation, deeper systems, expanded lore, set years after the events of the first game, and the feature fans requested the most: online co-op for up to 4 players, while still fully supporting pure solo runs. Within weeks of the announcement, the wishlist numbers climbed past 100,000, then 200,000. The community that carried the original was ready to turn, this time with backup. So what does evolved actually mean in the zone? First, co-op that respects the original DNA. You can still hunt alone, but when you bring a squad, every hunter keeps their own gear, their own loot, their own experience, and can chase their own quests during the same run. You can cover more ground, you can back each other up when things go wrong, you can create the kind of shared panic and hard-earned extraction the solo game could only hint at. Second, the world itself. New and returning maps, procedural layout that still respects fixed landmarks, so you can learn the zone without it feeling random for the sake of random. Conditions that can shift, a hunt in an instant, a setting that has moved forward in time, letting the story and factions breathe. Third, systems with more teeth, 4 skill paths, combat, survival, recon and ingenuity, over 30 weapons, many returning from the first game, now with deeper modifications and mastery, and obviously better graphics and looking guns. new relics, powerful passive and active abilities that can save a run or end it in catastrophic failure, a hideout that starts out as a makeshift shelter and slowly becomes a real base as new traders and survivors arrive. The tension is still there, the risk is still personal, but the fantasy has expanded from survive alone to survive together or die trying. What matters most is what didn't change. The zone still doesn't care about you, anomalies still kill the careless, mutants still hunt, bandits still wait for the sound of gunfire. Luca has said that the sequel exists because the fans believed in the first game. Underdog has said their job is to honour the foundation while letting players bring their friends into the mix. The balance, respect for lonely and ambitious for something larger, is the real evolution. Zerosievert proved a solo indie could define a corner of extraction genre. Zerosievert 2 is asking whether that same soul can survive and thrive when the loneliness is optional. The original game is obviously still being supported, the sequel is still early pre-alpha, heading towards an early access launch with 2 fully playable locations as the first act and a planned roughly 8-month early access period. But we all know that'll probably drag on for a lot longer. But as long as they keep adding it like they have done, Zerosievert with constant updates and connection with the community is one thing this game does really well. But nothing is finished, the direction is clear, the zone is bigger, the stakes are shared, and for the first time you don't have to face it alone. If the first game made you fall in love with the quiet terror of extraction, Zerosievert 2 is inviting you back with company, and I think you should wishlist both games, as you could probably pick up the first one pretty cheap, and obviously Zerosievert 2 is worth keeping an eye on. And when the train finally leaves for the new Zakov, bring people you trust or go alone. The zone won't mind either way, it never has. So let me know if you're gonna wishlist Zerosievert 2, and did you like the first one? If not, why the hell haven't you tried it yet? But anyway, this is Call Me Trouble 87. Drop me a subscribe if you want to keep up to date on all new and old extraction shooters. But for now, good night and good luck.
I was caught in the dirt, one river.